Good afternoon. This is a district update from the IVC School District for the week of April 5th. I am Chad Allison. First, just wanted to go over a few local COVID-19 updates. First, we are at 11 confirmed cases in Peoria County. More importantly, potentially, is that we do have 4 new confirmed cases as of Friday. And this is the largest one-day increase since the pandemic began. When a confirmed case is found by the Peoria County Department of Health, they do contact tracing. We've talked a little bit about that in the past, but contact tracing is really talking to those individuals with a confirmed case and trying to find out who they have come into contact with who may also be at risk of being confirmed for COVID-19. Importantly, with those 11 confirmed cases, there are over 300 people who have come into contact who have been ordered to monitor their symptoms and self-quarantine. So again, a very major part of what we're trying to do is the social distancing because of this. And obviously our first community contact case of COVID-19 has also been recorded in Peoria County. So it's important that we follow all of the recommendations of CDC and the Illinois Department of Health. In Peoria County, the governor's stay-at-home executive order 2020-15 was placed later in March, but we really began on Friday trying to implement all of these recommendations with the school district. All campuses are now closed except for essential employees. Custodial maintenance staff, we still have 1 administrator on site as needed. And most importantly, we are continuing with the implementation and delivery of our breakfast and lunch program. But beyond that, the campuses are really closed. We have removed, where we could, basketball rims and tried to make sure that everyone knows that campuses are closed per that executive order. Remote learning schedule for this week, the week of April 6th, there will be no school on Friday, April 10th, and again on Monday, April 13th. That was part of our original schedule for school, and we will follow those dates this week. Currently, the April 30th is the executive order from Governor Pritzker that we follow the stay-at-home and schools will remain closed. We do have some events that we know are very important, especially to our high school students, and we really do not have good news at this point, but the IVC HS prom, which was originally scheduled for April 25th, obviously is inside the stay-at-home order as well as the school closure order, and so we are still hopeful that we can get prom scheduled and really be able to hold that event before the end of the school year, but at this point, we certainly are looking for options with the stay-at-home order. And then graduation May 17th is still on our calendar. Very hopeful that the stay-at-home order is lifted so that we can get back to school and graduation would be held on May 17th. At this point, we do not have any additional information for you. IESA has canceled their spring sports schedule. IHSA is still hopeful to be able to get some events in later in the school year. The Illinois State Board has really established our recommendations and guidelines for the remote learning. And just as we kind of get started this week, the first priority continues to be feed and care for our extended safety, health, and welfare of our students, families, non-student children, staff, and community at large. We'll talk a little bit about what we're doing in that area. Priority 2 is communication, just really trying to make an effort to communicate with everyone because we're not seeing our students, obviously, on campuses in our classrooms. And then priority 3 is to provide for the continuity of learning. So that is really where we start talking about the specifics of our remote learning program. Within priority 1, we are offering that breakfast and lunch program. The first week, we provided 1,100 breakfasts as well as lunches to all of our students. The second week, we saw a jump to 2,148 breakfasts as well as 2,148 lunches. And then this last week, 2,668 breakfasts and lunches were served. Again, this program is free to anyone under the age of 18 at the following locations: IVC HS High School and CEC from 7:30 to 9 each Monday through Friday. Mossville United Methodist Church, 7:45 to 8:15. Crossroads Baptist, and Lake of the Woods Plaza from 8:30 to 9. Again, even though this week we are not going to be holding remote learning activities, we will be providing breakfast and lunch even on Friday and Monday, April 13th. Within communication, we have tried to improve that with the distribution of 415 Chromebooks. Those were distributed at CEC in Mossville this week. If you are still in need of a device for your child to complete their work, please contact the school's administrators. South, Mr. Grant; CEC, Mr. Burkle; Mr. Kilgus; and IVC HS. If you're having issues, contact Mr. Bergman via their emailed addresses. For the continuity of learning, that just really got started this week for us. We are doing a variety of choice boards in kindergarten through 8th grade. Those are consistent on both ends of the district, both at Mossville and South, or Mossville and CEC, trying to maintain consistency in what we're offering our students. And we do have the opportunity for some extension enrichment activities. Certainly look at Khan Academy if you think your kids need a little bit more refresher or review. Parent-teacher resources on the district website also provides a variety of options. And our teachers continue to do a variety of things. Story time that they're reading to their classes. Some are doing show and tells with our younger kids and doing a variety of meetings with Google Meet. Some of the choice boards, as you can see, the left, grade levels, lower grade levels have 3-column choice boards, where the upper levels have 4-column choice boards. The choice boards are available online every Monday starting this week through our remote learning web links, as well as a paper version are available at all of the breakfast lunch distribution sites. So you can pick up your lunch and your remote learning choice boards at those sites. We are not going to hold them at schools since we have closed down the campuses, so they really need to be picked up at the breakfast and lunch sites. This is an important piece. These are the recommendations from this Illinois State Board regarding how much time our students should be spending on the remote learning activities. You can see our kindergarten students, 30 to 90 minutes max is how long they should be doing remote learning. 3rd through 5th, it increases from 60 minutes to 120 minutes a day, all the way to the high school where it's 120 minutes up to 270 minutes. So obviously, trying to maintain being realistic, working with our parents, knowing that oftentimes our students are working at home with their parents, doing remote learning, who are working at home. And some we know are also doing childcare. So getting this time in is a challenge, and we're trying to be realistic in what our expectations are for all of our kids. Enrichment activities, if you visit the IVC School District website, click on that link, takes you directly to the school district website. You can see down in the bottom right-hand corner under the district COVID-19 resources, that will take you to some general remote learning resources. Some are COVID in nature, trying to keep you updated in what's going on with the county, the state. Some are a little more specific, looking at Governor Pritzker's daily news conference. There's a link for that. The White House. Get into some STEM activities, some great options for families for extension through the National Inventors Hall of Fame. This is the Camp Invention sponsors. Many of our kids enjoy that in the summer. They have some great activities. Discovery World in Milwaukee, some additional options as well. If you're really looking for some great challenges for high school students, I would assume the Ivy League courses are available. If you click on that link, takes you to the Ivy League online courses. These are audit courses, but they are free. So you can kind of see what it would be like to take a course from Princeton or Yale or Harvard. A whole variety of courses that are available to all of you. Anyone, if you want to do that. If you were interested in coding, that would be another great option for something to do for your students to get into the computer science activities. Peoria County, this one has just an amazing amount of options for parents, students in a variety of different categories. And this last one is a new one this week, Superintendent's Challenge. So if you're looking for something to do with your students at home, this week, the Superintendent's Challenge is a spaghetti bridge. So if you can follow these directions, if you can support a paper cup full of pennies, about a half pound, please take a picture of that video, share it to on Twitter at IVC Pride, and we're going to have a wall of fame for all those students and families who are able to complete our weekly spaghetti bridge challenge, or next week we'll have a new challenge for you. So again, another extension opportunity just for something to work together as a family or students at home to be able to do. These are those links that we've talked about. See all of those. Some technology tips. As our parents and families with so many devices at home, YouTube, we know a lot of use, and a lot of our kids are on YouTube looking at things. Just want to make sure you're trying to kind of throttle that back to use standard definition for YouTube. You can see the difference between standard definition and the at 1080p 1.6 gigabytes. Significant difference in how much of your bandwidth, as well as how much if you're on a kind of a allowance for maybe 250 gigs a month. Some plans are through internet providers. You can see how that would be impacted if you're doing that at high definition. Netflix is another one, 1 gig all the way up to 7 gigs if you're watching your Netflix in 4K Ultra HD. Just something to be aware of. If your kids are at home, if they're doing that during the day while you're trying to work, you can go to your YouTube account or your Netflix account, rather, all the way down at the bottom under your account settings. You can set that to standard definition for how you want to watch those. So something to consider as you're trying to make the most out of your internet access. If internet access is a challenge at your house, if you're on free and reduced lunch, Mediacom offers a great plan, $9.95 a month, up to 25 megabits per second, and 250 gigs per month. And this is the plan. If you remember, the Education Foundation is willing to spend or provide a matching grant of $5 a month for our families to be able to provide that up to 10 months. So right now, Mediacom is offering the first 2 months free. The Education Foundation then will provide $50, $5 a month for the next 10. So you could have a year's worth of internet access if you are on free and reduced lunch for $50 a month. Great program. If you're outside of Mediacom, we are trying to work with T-Mobile to get some of their hotspots to be able to provide some of our families as well. Unfortunately, production of the hotspots themselves is about 4 weeks away. So if you're unable to use Mediacom, please stay tuned, and we will help you hopefully through T-Mobile maybe get some internet access. But we know how important that is for the communication and continued continuity of instruction. Finally, we know that many recommendations are coming out. You should be using a face covering while out in public. Obviously, face masks are very hard to come by. This is just one of the options that the CDC provides for suggestions for a very economical use, and that is a t-shirt. So you could certainly do a quick cut t-shirt, cloth face covering. Those instructions are here, but we also know that the most effective thing that we can do to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 is follow the stay-at-home order and social distancing. Obviously, our schools, we've put up those barricades to keep everyone from congregating and doing those things. We need this spread to really significantly decrease because we want all of our kids back in school. We want all of you to get back to normal. So please follow those social distancing practices as much as you can. And we look forward to seeing all of you back in school, hopefully very soon. If you have any questions about any of the information I shared today, please contact me at callison@ivcschools.com or your building principals or your teachers. We look forward to seeing you all online. And remember, we are certainly know that we're separate right now, but we are certainly all together in this. It's a great day to be an IVC Gray Ghost. It's a great day to be a member of the IVC community. Have a great weekend. Have a great week.